seems that she hasn't been satisfied with the way that things have been going, so together with Dave Ambrose from the A&R department, we got together and we decided that I should become a more personal attaché, if you want to put it like that, to try and develop a relationship with Honey which could be more akin to what she wanted when she originally joined us. I hope that I think that the situation has been resolved. And from what Honey was saying then, I mean, I hope that we can use this well, she wants to use this interview to try and, get things out in the open a bit. I hope that we're still going to be able to work together. I mean, I'll stay in the background from now on. Well, yes.
So when did the problem start? I said 2 years ago.
Yeah, basically. No, it's just like I was sort of led to believe, like, when they first came to me, it was like, oh, we really like what you're doing and everything else, and, we'd like to sort of make more of that. So it was kind of, it was just as if they were saying, yeah, you can carry on with what you're doing, but we're offering you a way of being able to put it across to a lot more people, which is basically what I was saying, which was fucking con, because when I signed with them, it was like them coming in the studio saying, oh no, we can't have that like that, oh that's too heavy, and that's too this, and that's too that, and oh no, you can't go around looking like that anymore, because that's not going to sell records.
Well, I don't think we really want to come here and start slagging off EMI, do we? I mean, we've cleared all that up. We've cleared that up, and you're all coming down.
We haven't cleared it up.
Well, we have cleared it up. I mean, that's why I'm here today. To try and make it work better for you. There's no point coming down here and just sort of slagging the EMI off, right? Is there? It's going to do nothing to try and rebuild what's been lost. Okay, what?
And neither is sitting about talking about in offices all the fucking time.
No, okay, well this is action, and we want to make it constructive action, not
constructive
negative.
For who?
Constructive for you. I mean, I thought
if you think coming along here is going to stop me saying what I've got to say, you've got nothing coming. That won't wash with me.
No intention of trying to stop you from what you're saying. I mean, I thought that I'd be sort of sitting in the background, whilst you talked about it. Well, I will, but I mean, I just don't think that that's good to take it from that point of view.
Why don't you just, shut up or something. Anyway, we'll see.
Right, so we get to this. You said about
Yeah, oh yeah. So I mean, and then saying, oh, this image thing's got to sort of be kind of calmed down and made sort of, commercialised, but you can't commercialise that sort of thing. You can't commercialise a raw energy because it isn't raw anymore. It isn't real anymore. It's just another normality and conformity to everything, which I never wanted. And so I mean, it sort of changed slowly, and after about, I think it was just after I did sort of Top of the Pops, I realised that I was in a really shit situation that I was going to have trouble getting out of. So I tried to go in the studio. I just had the second single out, and they said, oh, go in and make some demos. So I went in to make some demos, and I made something that I ended up just recording the one song, which was something that I wanted to do, which I really liked and thought was really good. And the next day they said, that's the biggest pile of shit we've ever heard. Now dare you go in and record stuff like that in our studios, and they didn't let me near another studio for a year after that.
No, I don't think we did that. I mean,
yes, you did do that.
Well, it's written down in the contract that you signed that all recordings come through us before they go out, and that's an agreement that we have.
Yeah, but you don't realise that people can't take a person away totally from something they've established themselves with,
Well,
and make it into something else, because
yes, I know, but
it
you
don't
came...
work, and I didn't want that.
All right,
What was the stuff like as a demo? How different was that from the scene?
A lot different. It was a lot heavier. I mean, it wasn't commercial in their commercial sense.
No, it wasn't commercial, and you came to us with an image which had a sort of relatively healthy London following, and you said that you wanted to expand beyond that, which you felt was limiting you, which is what we've tried to do. I mean, I really don't think that this is the right time and the place to start talking about that sort of thing, because I mean we've agreed to try and extend it beyond. Okay, the image that we've got now doesn't work. I mean, the pop image doesn't work. I mean, you know, we'll try and change that. And I don't think this is the time and the place.
Do you think it's a bit too fucking late to change that?
No, I don't think it is. No.
Oh, that'd be so bloody stupid.
So you think you've lost, just to summarise what you're saying, you think you've lost a lot of credibility with people who followed you before by going along with
It's not that
pop
so
image
much. It's not that so much. As much as, you know, I'm not doing anything that I believe in. I haven't made one record with them that I can sit down and relate to in any way whatsoever myself. And I just want to get out of that situation and start doing something that I believe in. And, you know, something real. You know, I weren't cut out to be a pop star, you know, as pop stars go. I mean, what's a pop star? It's somebody who walks about and everybody recognises him in the street. No, I don't want to fucking hassle. Just want to, you know...
No, obviously you weren't cut out to be a pop star, because the pop star
so why
image
did you try and
is not
impose
working.
that on me?
It's not... It is what you came to us and said. You came to us and said... I really think it's stupid to start arguing. I mean, I don't want...
You always say
I didn't
stupid
want
and you always start arguing.
I didn't want to come along here and argue in front of the press. I mean, I thought that what you were going to have to say was constructive.
It is constructive.
Well, I don't think it is constructive.
No, it may
it's
not be for you.
It's not what we've agreed to do, you know, and I'm coming down here and I'm basically being embarrassed.
So,
Well, if the point is that you're going to do something different soon, then probably, you know, just as well to get what was wrong with the past.
Well, I mean, I feel that we've got that. You know, we've got that out of the way, and this is. I was hoping that the fact that the image that you now have isn't working. We aren't selling any records. We aren't selling enough records, and that we're going to make a concerted effort to try and change that and to try and do stuff which you're more happy with, at the same time as being able to continue with, you know, the original ideas that you had when you came to us, which were to try and develop beyond the limited, naive punk audience that you had.
it wasn't
And I think that
limited naive.
Well, I think that it was. I mean, that's what you said. I mean, okay, all right, then you said...
Yeah, but that's because you don't understand anything about young people. That's because all you're into is making money and fucking up people's lives and making bombs. Which is another
Well, look, everyone knows about that. Everyone knows about that, all right. You can read that... All right, you can read that in Sounds every day of the week. Yes.
It's not impressed on enough.
Oh, I'm
There's not enough people sitting there, you know, saying what's really happening. You know. Okay, so it pops up every now and again. But it's still
You've
got
heard
to
it
be
all
said.
before.
So what? The more it's heard, the better.
So what now? What's happening next?
I've got a lawyer looking at my contracts and stuff. Just trying to find a clause to get out. And then I'm going to go into an independent label and do an album. But making make a statement about, you know, the last 2 years and what's been going on.
Well, why don't you say all this sort of thing when we're with Dave?
I do.
Well, you don't. You just sit there and keep your mouth shut.
I don't sit there
You
and
don't
keep my
say
mouth
anything.
shut. Do
You never say anything
surprised
like
when
that.
I don't?
Well, no, maybe it isn't. But I mean, you could at least try and say, you know, okay, this is what I want to do.
I've
rather
been
than just
saying,
sitting
I've been
there.
saying this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do for 2.5 fucking years.
Yes,
And you
that's what
don't
we've
listen
done. That's
because
what
if
we've
you
done.
because if you did listen, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now.
Yes, okay, all right. Then I accept that we've made a mistake.
I don't regret the fact that I haven't, you know, been successful. I regret the fact that I've been making a load of crap for the last 2 years that
All
I
right.
don't like.
I'm sorry about this. I mean, I had thought that we had cleared all this up before you come down. I mean, this is not the idea that I rang you up with. I mean, I didn't want to come down and to have an argument with Honey, and I was hoping that. I mean, I came down just because, you know, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I mean, if this is the way that it's sort of. Yeah, but if this is the way that it's going to go, then there's no point in doing it. It's no skin off my nose if you want with us anymore. You know. It's
Well, why don't you let me go
I'm
then?
just doing. I'm doing my job by coming down here with you today. That's why I'm here.
You just want to spy on me.
I want to do what?
Such a woolly. Oh dear, this is ridiculous.
What was the last thing you read out?
Something called Dizzy Dreamers.
What was that last year?
No, that's a couple of months ago, but I mean another thing is, I mean, they spend all this money on recording costs and they don't circulate their records, you know. I'm forever getting letters saying you can't get your record anywhere and we've been waiting for 3 weeks with, you know, with our order and all that kind of stuff. And the crap as far as distribution goes as well. Which is basically a bad company.
Yeah, well, this is what we're trying to do something about, isn't it? Okay, you're not happy about that.
Look, you know, you just think you can get hold of anybody and mould them into something they're not, and you know, turn everybody into big money making commodities.
I'm not interested in doing that at all. I'm interested in.
And I don't fucking want that.
I'm interested in trying to work with somebody,
I
or
don't
trying to
work
work
with
with
you.
artists. Well, if you had said I don't want to work with you last week,
I
then we
did.
wouldn't-
I've been saying I don't want to work with you fucking
No,
donkey's years.
you haven't
Yes,
said
I
that.
have.
Oh, well, what about last week when you rang up and it was sort of and ah, I don't know whether I want to take advantage of the facilities that you can provide, of the promotion, etc. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do it on my own. What about that?
That is
then? That's the
utter
reason
bullshit because
it's
I
not.
could never doubt for a moment in my life that I couldn't do it on my own. I did it on my own before I came to you and I can do it on my own again. I don't need you and I don't need your company or anything else. I don't need anything to do with you. You know, you're just wasting my time and energy and everything else. I could be going out and doing something that I'm enjoying and doing something real instead of sitting around, you know,
Well, so
wondering
I
what
could
next
be
level
doing
of crap I'm going to
something.
get from
I
you.
could be doing something a lot more constructive than coming down and being insulted in front of the music press.
Well, can't do something.
I mean, that's not what I'm
constructive.
interested in doing. I'm
You never do
interested in
anything
trying to make
constructive.
something positive out of something that's not working at the moment. That's what I'm trying to do.
Alright.
I'm also
You'll
not
go around
interested in
thinking,
arguing. I mean,
you know,
stupid that we're
acting like such goody-goodies. You know, it's a different fucking scene when you're around.
Sorry. Okay, you sort of chat on.
Oh, do you think I
I mean,
can be allowed that?
Yeah, you can sort of spew a little loud. I don't make any. Well, I mean, we don't make any bones about the fact that okay, we have involvement in missile, in the armaments industry, whatever you want to call it. But all these things. I mean, you read it all over the bloody place. What difference does that make to you? You don't give a fuck.
Who doesn't?
You don't.
I don't
You've
give a
never
fuck.
come up with anything like that before.
That is utter bullshit.
No, you've never said any of those things before we got down here today.
It's absolutely. No, these sort of arguments are just like, it's ridiculous. They just go on and on and on. Every week, right, we have a meeting, we talk about this, we resolve this, that and the other. It's the same old crap all the time.
So what was anyway? How much stuff have you read out? Can you see what you meant now, right?
No.
So
about 5 or 6 singles, which have all been crap.
you're saying you haven't sort of really...
I haven't been allowed any freedom whatsoever to do anything that I think is right for me. And I haven't been allowed to present myself in a way that is right for me. You know, I've been made out to look like some fucking sweet, normal, pop starish little girl. And I'm not that at all. And I could never be that, you know. I've been able to live up to you know, that sort of thing for, you know, ever since I've been with them, and I can't keep pretending anymore that I'm enjoying it, because I haven't. You know, I haven't, you know, it's as bad as being fucking knocked up. Might as well be, all the pleasure I get out of it. You know, like people go around thinking, oh, the minute you sign with a major record company, you've got money. I've never had a fucking penny out of them, except for, you know, being able to record.
What have you been living on for the last 2 years?
What have I been living on? I've had a basic
Where do you think
wage.
that came from?
I've never had
That's
any.
fair.
I've never had a bank account or any sum of money that I could go out and buy myself anything or do anything with. No, it's like sort of, you know, shit they try and get me wearing. And like, I don't provide it. I have to go and fucking get it.
Let's put it simple, that advocate for a minute. Say you don't win 5 or 6 singles, they'd all be in top 10. You think you'd feel the same as you are now?
I'd probably feel worse. Because I'd be even more trapped. If I'd have been doing, you know, like I have been, it's not the fact that they've not been successful, but the fact that I haven't liked them. And I don't give a toss about making money as long as I'm doing something I believe in. Because I don't need it. I don't need to surround myself with material objects for insecurity, because I'm not that insecure. Some people need that, others don't.
What would you rather be doing, and what sort of stuff would you like to do?
I want to be much
More
more...
like you were doing to begin with?
Not as basic as that, no. I mean, a real advancement of that, a much deeper sort of thing. I want to, you know, put myself across a lot more. I want to become a lot more politically active. And I want to, you know, just talk about all the things that I'm against. You know, I want to start making statements again and saying how I feel about things. What do you mean, yeah?
Because, you know, this is not what you were saying last week. I mean, you've been dissatisfied with the way that we've promoted you. You've been dissatisfied with the way that we've dealt with the recordings. And this is all that you've been dissatisfied with.
I've been dissatisfied with everything.
Well, I know that you've. I know that
I'm
you've
like
been.
fucking sitting there listening to some popsy record like Baby Love.
Well, okay, so you come to EMI and you want to use EMI for what it has to offer. What EMI has to offer is the chance to be able to appear on top of the pops, to put out records which are commercially viable.
Yeah, but I didn't want to put out records that were commercially viable. I wanted to put out records that
Well, it was made
had
quite
some
clear
kind
to
of
you
meaning.
at the beginning.
No,
that,
it
you know,
wasn't
that's
made
what we
quite
were
clear
there
to me
for.
because I wouldn't have fucking signed you.
But why did you sign then? I mean, that's...
Because I thought I was going to get some kind of, you know, some kind of wider scope to put my views across to a much wider audience, and also to try and get through to the sort of people on the straight and narrow who didn't know the first thing about records on independent labels that weren't doing the stuff I was doing before.
Do you not think that's what you're doing now?
What? What?
Do you not think that's what we're doing now?
No, I don't.
Where you aren't going to be able to get records out to Mrs. Smith doing the washing up on some foxy little independent label. Huh?
I will. I'll do it in other ways. I'll do it in other ways. You know, if you think you're the only fucking people who can get Mrs. Smith washing up in her kitchen, well, you're wrong.
Well, I don't think that we're the only people who can do that.
Got children. I'm just sick of hearing the same old shit on Radio 1 every day.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's all right. Oh, fair enough. It just makes me feel very uncomfortable to feel that I've been brought along here on false pretences. I mean, when you said to me,
I didn't bring you.
Well, you
here.
did. I mean, you
I
said.
didn't bring you.
Well, you
here.
did. I mean, you agreed that I would. Okay, I know the business.
Choice.
Well, I know the business. You don't know the business. So
I don't know the business after 2 fucking years of the worst side of it.
It just makes me feel embarrassed to have been brought down here and basically to be insulted.
Well, so you should be.
So now, what have you got planned concretely and what's happening?
I'm just waiting for the lawyer to get back to me and let me know about the situation with the contract and when that's been sorted out. I mean, if it's if it comes to the point of it not being, then I'll go to fucking court. I'll take EMI support and I'll start legal proceedings against the fact that they've handled my career wrongly and that they led me to believe something when I was so young, which was wrong. They bullshitted me into a situation which was bad for me.
There's been no bullshit.
And no bullshit.
No, I mean, what is written on the contract is what we're doing.
No, it isn't. In the contract it states that you promote a person to the best of your advantage for the best way for them, etc., etc., etc. And that is not what you've done.
Yes, but there has to be an agreement between us. And I thought that we'd agreed.
You're not going to stop me from working for the next 2 years or whatever till the contract runs out.
There's no skin off my nose if you go elsewhere. And...
Yeah, but I can't go elsewhere,
You can go elsewhere. I mean...
I can go elsewhere.
All right, yeah, I mean, okay, so the lawyers are looking at the contract, and it's a sort of standard contract. Your lawyers are looking at it. And if we come to an agreement whereby we terminate the contract, then off you go.
Yeah, but
and that's fine by me.
You're not going to do that.
Well, what we're trying to do is to resolve the problem.
I don't want the problem resolved. I want out.
All right.
What's Tony's position in this? Wasn't your one?
He's alright actually. I mean, he thinks that it'd be better for me to be doing what I want to be doing and stay with EMI, because he also feels that, they took the whole wrong approach with me anyway, so he doesn't think that they're doing anyone any good. You know, I'd rather sell 30 records to people who are going to really listen to them than, you know, 300,000 to a load of fucking idiots who, you know, don't even want to listen to anything.
Yes, but you can sell 300,000 records to somebody and say something if it's done properly.
No, I can't.
Well, you could have also like look at a special with Ghost Town or something, you know.
Yeah, but that's all right. They've been allowed to do that. Their company has allowed them to do that. My company hasn't allowed me to do that. Right from the start, they haven't allowed me any kind of freedom of speech whatsoever. And everybody's got a right to freedom of speech.
No, and that's what we're trying to do now. Okay, I realise that it hasn't worked.
You're trying to do that now after 2
years. It hasn't
years.
worked. Yes, that's right. After 2 years, it's taken us a long time to realise. I mean, I had nothing to do with you until 3 weeks ago. And I feel that, you know, this is a sort of... I thought that we had agreed to do something concrete, which you're now sort of exposing in front of the press in some sort of malicious way. You asked me to set up a contract, to set up an interview for you, which I've done.
I didn't ask
with
you to do anything. They originally set up the interviews, then they were cancelled over all the this, that and the other, and then you went ahead and you got it all together again. And I don't
No, I didn't get it together
It
again.
gives me an opportunity to wear my views.
Yes, but
If you think by coming along here you're going to stop me, you've got another thing coming.
Yes, but I didn't come along here to be insulted.
Well, it's too bad, isn't it?
So you're saying, as far as you're concerned, your involvement with EMI is
Yeah.
completely non-starter?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And now they're trying to say that they're you know, wanting to resolve things, which is a load of shit. They're just trying to save their embarrassment because they've already said that, you know, if I don't do anything with them, they're still not going to release me from the contract for the next 2 years, which is going to stop me from doing what I want to do. Yes, you did say that.
We said that we thought that it would be better, given the situation as it stands at the moment, that we try and make a go of it.
I would not want to make a go of it.
Yes, well, if you said that at
If you
the
turn
time...
to me now, you can do exactly what you want. You can look how you want, you can make the records how you want, and we'll pay for it. I can stick it up your ass. Because it's, you know, I wouldn't want to do anything that meant anything to me with you.
Yes, but you weren't quite that explicit last week, were you?
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't quite that explicit. I mean, you were saying basically that you were interested in trying to make it work.
I wasn't interested in trying to make it work.
So you're in a situation where you're contractually obliged to make more recordings of it?
Yeah.
Will you not try and do something sort of, as you were talking about, you're not trying to get something a bit heavier across?
No, I'm not going to do it with them.
I was hoping that that's what we could do. I was hoping that we could do something which would be more acceptable to Harry. But from the way that this conversation is going, it seems that we're not going to be able to do that.
No, we're not going to be able
And I
to
was
do
hoping that it would be possible.
Well, it's not possible. I'm not going to do another thing with you, and you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop me from doing anything with anyone else.
You to do
yes,
anything.
you are.
Well, why am I here? You know, I'm here to help you, not to try
You're
and stop
here
you
to
from
help
doing
me.
anything.
Sitting here with your poxy little tape recorder. You're just being nosy.
Just for your own,
Just so
for your own
Go back
protection.
and say, oh look, you know.
No, it's for your own
this is,
protection
you know,
that is
terrible.
there. Because I mean, you can do an interview, and it can be taken completely the wrong way. Things that you say can be taken out of context, and you can be made to look like an idiot. Which is why that is there. And that's the only reason that we always do that.
You don't always do that. You've never done it before. They haven't done that. They haven't done this before. No. It's when bloody A&R men, like, gone to bloody, you know, interviews.
Because I've been asked, I'm just doing my job. So I've been asked to do that. And you've agreed to that.
I never agreed to it. I didn't have any choice.
I feel like a complete idiot. Because, you know, this is not what we'd agreed to do before. I mean, I rang you up in all good faith that we were going to be able to come down, that Honey was going to be able to say what she felt about being with us, which I agree with. I mean, I agree that, okay, we've done a couple of records with her which haven't sold. I mean, Baby Love, you know, etc., etc. It didn't work. So she's come to us and she said, look, it doesn't work, I want to do it this way. She wants to do songs which mean more to her to do, which is fair enough. And I mean, and I've been asked by Dave to specifically help her in this way, which is what I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm not. She hasn't said any of this to me before we came here, and I'm sorry that, you know, I was hoping that I wasn't going to have to say, that I wasn't going to say anything. It puts me in an extremely embarrassing position, and I wish I wasn't here. I think perhaps that I may drink my drink and go. That would be more apt, perhaps. Because I had nothing to do with Honey up until about 3 weeks ago. I deal with more with the... well, today I've been investigating compact discs and things like that, for instance. I mean, and I was just brought in, and Dave said to me, look, Honey wants to do this, this and this, can you help her do it? So I said yes.
She's like
yeah. And it's an area that I'm not experienced in dealing with particularly, but I had hoped from what Honey and I had agreed that we were going to be able to make a run of it, but obviously from...
So this is totally completely...
Absolutely by surprise, and I'm really sorry about it. I mean, she's a difficult person to get on with. I mean, she is very unpredictable, and I realise that. But I mean, to have been duped as much as I have been today makes me look like a complete idiot. Maybe I am. I've just been saying, Honey, that perhaps if this is the way that you want to take this interview, it would be better if I wasn't here. So I think I may finish my drink and leave, because I haven't come here to be insulted. I thought from what we said that we'd come to an agreement, which we obviously haven't. And I'll drink up and go, if that's what you want. Would you like that?
I don't feel like talking anymore, I think I'll go on.
Or do you want to stay here for another 10 minutes or so, so that you can talk honestly without being monitored by EMI? If that's what you feel that I'm trying to do. Well, that's what you know. That's what you think that I'm trying to do. I'm not doing it for that.
Yes, you are.
Do you still want me left hand? If so, I'll be back in court tonight. I'll be back in court tonight. Size. Would you like one of those?
No.
No?
I'd like one of those, yeah, magic. Lighter.
No, I haven't got a lighter. Well, I'm just going to sort of stay relatively in the background, I think. I mean, look, thank you for coming along and doing it after all those
It's great, no, it's cool, that's good.
misunderstandings. I mean, there was, what happened was that, well, I mean, Honey will probably explain it to you, but there was some sort of misunderstandings between us, which I hope, well, which I think we've resolved, which is, I mean, I was asked to set up a more personal relationship with Honey over the years, rather than the sort of A&R department artist sort of thing, which is why I've come along as well.
Right, okay.
But I mean, I'll just shut up.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, hello, 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 hello.
What it basically boils down to is I'm not having a cup of tea, please.
And I have a coffee, please.
Yes, would you like a tea and coffee?
Cappuccino, please.
Yeah, what it basically boils down to is I'm not happy with the situation at EMI because like the whole way they present me, image-wise and everything, it's all wrong. It's not what I want, and it's not what I intended either.
It's not what you intended.
No.
So why did it happen?
Why does it happen? Because you're forced into a situation that you can't get out of. It's like, before you know it, you're in sort of all these pretty frocks and everything, and making these sort of records that you can't even listen to yourself. Do you know what I mean?
So you don't like the last single you had out?
No, I don't like anything I've done with them.
So why did you do it?
Why? Because no way out.
Well, you had it in the contract that you had to wear the dresses that they said, and you had to release the records they wanted you to release.
Yeah, well, the way it works is that they
Well,
go
at the time
in.
you were happy about it.
No, I wasn't. I sort of go in the studio and record, say, 6 tracks, some of which I wanted to record, and others which they said you have to record. And then it would always turn out that they put out the ones that I didn't like and the ones that I felt weren't right for me, because they were commercial and poppy and everything else. And so I haven't been happy with that. And I haven't been happy with the whole image that's been presented of me, because it isn't me. It isn't what I'm like as a person. It isn't sort of... And isn't sort of image that I've wanted to present, but like, you know.
Do you have any kind of management, or do you look after your own business affairs?
Yeah, well, I mean, what's management? I've got a manager, yeah, but I mean, obviously he follows the trail along with, you know, whoever's giving him the money. So.
Well, yeah, but when you came to us, I mean, you weren't happy with your image then, which was a sort of...
Yes, I was.
Well, I mean, you gave the alright, then you came to us and you gave the impression that you didn't want to continue
No,
sort of
that's not true.
ex-Borstal girl sort of romantic image, and you wanted
It
to...
wasn't a romantic image, that's what I was.
Yes, I know, but it had been
You
promoted
said that
as a
would all,
romantic...
you said that would all have
Oh,
to,
no, sorry.
you said that would all have to go. that there was no way that you were going to be able to sell records with mine, you weren't going to be able to sell records if they weren't commercial and if they were anything like what I was doing before, which is the basis that I was signed up on, which I think was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but you accepted it. I mean, that's what you wanted.
Well, it's too late. I had to accept it.
Why did you have to accept it?
Because I'd already signed the contract. I was under the impression, oh yeah, it's going to be more money to promote what I was doing before. Whereas it turns out that, you signed this contract and everybody's sort of doing everything, and before you know it, you're sort of legally bound to make a pile of shit for the next 2 years.
You're legally bound to stay with EMI for 2 years?
No, I have been so far.
And what about, how much longer have you got with your contract with EMI then?
Well, I mean, that depends.
Well, that's what we've been talking about.
If I can get out of it, I'm going to. Take the acting and singing elsewhere because, the best of me isn't coming out. Because what's coming out isn't me.
So what is you? What do you want to do?
I'm not that shallow. I'm not as shallow as the records make out.
Did you see the whole exercise in any way at a point being seditionary? Okay, I'll get in with the giant corporation, toe the line, let them think.
No, I never intended that. I just was put under the impression by people there that they liked what I was doing, therefore they wanted to sign me up, and therefore that would mean that I could press ahead with what I was doing in a much bigger way so that I could get my views across to more people.
No, we did like what you were doing. I mean, what you were doing was really good. I mean, the first record that you brought out was excellent. I mean, and I thought we thought that there were elements within that which were, which could be taken more advantage of. And I think that there was an agreement.
You can't commercialise raw energy and things that have really got any real meaning, because then it hasn't got any real meaning anymore.
Yes, but nobody makes any bones about the fact that, I mean, I'm sorry about this, I was hoping that we'd sort of cleared all this up, but as it's come up again, I think it's important. I mean, we have discussed this over quite a long period of time.
And also you don't listen.
But don't you think that it's an inevitable dichotomy that art and commerce will never really go to bed together and have a good relationship?
I don't want them to.
You don't want them to, but you want to sell records.
I want to sell records to people that want to listen to something that's important.
And do you think there's people out there that do want to hear things that are important?
Of course there are.
Well, yeah, there are.
I was doing much better before I signed to bloody this lot.
Yeah, I mean, the first record that was brought out, which wasn't with us, sold very well and latched onto a particular type of following.
Second one?
Yeah.
What do you mean typical kind of following?
Well, all right, a predictable kind of following, which...
yeah, but at least they listened.
Yes, but I mean, you said yourself that you wanted to break out of that specific following, at the same time as keeping that expanded into a more widespread audience. I mean, that's what. I just wanted the advantage to get across to more people, because when you're doing something independently, you don't hear about it in the same way as you do with a major company, right? Therefore, there's still going to be people when you're independent that are missing out and that aren't getting to hear about it. Yeah, and there's all those straight normal people out there that don't buy indies records that you want to try and convert in some way. Fair enough, but I mean, you can't get through to Mrs. Smith doing the washing up by saying, I'm a sort of ball-stool breakout girl. I mean, that doesn't work.
You've never tried.
Yes, I know, but I mean, it stays, all right, we've never tried with you, and we haven't tried.
Well, why not?
Because we didn't think that's the right way to go. I mean, we agreed with you. Well, because we agreed with you at the time that...
you agreed with me, you signed up, and then you disagreed with me.
So in this situation, EMI have got total control over your presentation, from records through to packaging, clothes, pictures.
Yeah. And it's like, I haven't been able to even go out and play gigs because I haven't even been allowed to have a band. I can't even go out and, do things I'm not doing on Record Live.
Why?
Why? Because they won't allow me any kind of facilities to do that. Like, case in point, I went in the studio once, in the demo studio, and I recorded something that I thought was really good, that I wanted to record. And the next day, they said, we won't have that kind of behaviour in our studio. That was the biggest pile of shit I've ever heard, and I didn't see another studio for a year after the second single.
Well, but the whole story is being that we've agreed to do something and then you haven't wanted to do it.
You didn't agree, you just said go and make some demos.
Yes, but I mean you'd agreed to... Oh, I mean I was hoping that we'd got through all this. I mean I don't want an interview to go out which is, you know, just saying all this same old stuff. Nobody makes any bones about the fact that if you go to a big record company, that is an image. I mean, and you take on everything that goes with it. And you knew that before you came along.
Of course I didn't know that, I wouldn't have come along.
Did you approach EMI yourself?
No, they approached me.
Alright then, you wouldn't have accepted the terms of the agreement.
But I mean, are you saying that they deceived you? That you were offered one situation and when you signed... How subtle?
Well, like...
I mean, did they say that they
that whole
intended
thing
to
of,
clean
like,
up your act?
if, for instance, you were doing a gig and a guy from the record company came in and said, great, I really like what you're doing, we could do this more, we could make it much better.
Mm.
Then you would think that they were on your side and that they believed in what you were doing at the time, which is the way they work their subtleties. It's like, oh yeah, we really like what you're doing, until they get hold of you and they just think, all right, we'll get this person and we'll mould them into something that they're not, and we'll put them on public view and make as much money as we can out of them. And it's like the whole...
We don't do it that blatantly, it's not that blatant.
No, it's not that blatant, it's very subtle.
Yes, but you know what it is. I mean, you've always known that is potential, and that's what you wanted to happen. You wanted an image, and you got an image.
I didn't need an image, I didn't want an image.
The fact that you don't like the image that you've now got is, I mean, I hope that we're going to be able to do something about it.
Well, it's a bit late now, isn't it?
Well, I thought from the sort of discussions that we had with Dave the other day that, you know, we were going to try and patch something
Dave
up.
Ambrose?
Yeah. You know, okay, you aren't happy with the way it's going, you aren't happy with the image. Okay, I mean, we'll try and do something about it. And you're lucky.
Yeah, but you've been saying you'll try and do something about it for the last God knows how long.
There are a lot of people who come along and, you know, they do demos and they don't even get a record out of it.
They're lucky.
No, they aren't.
I mean, you actually are you making any efforts to get away from EMI?
Yeah.
And what kind of things are you doing?
Well, I'm just having my contract re-looked at and stuff and seeing if I can find some course to get out.
But I mean, we don't want to do that. I mean, we're hoping that...
It'd be too bloody bad if I do, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't mind if you do. I mean, I don't give a shit if you do. You know, personally, I don't mind at all. But I mean, what I've been led to understand is that the reason that I'm here is because we're trying to make it work. I was hoping that we weren't going to get into this sort of bickering.
And it's not just that. I don't like their involvement. I don't like being part of a company that produces warheads for missiles and God knows what else.
Didn't you know that before you signed?
That's another thing. I mean, people do. I mean, look. I mean, people do know the involvements. I don't make any...
People don't know the involvements.
Well, it's sort of pretty...
I think a lot of people know about EMI's involvements. There's a large NME piece last year which had the pictures of Kate Bush and Trident missiles all on the same page.
Mm.
You were unaware of that?
It's been a commonly... I mean, Tom Robinson did the same thing, didn't he? I mean, he did a big interview about it.
What about your acting? Do you enjoy that?
Yeah.
And how do you get the work that you do as an actress?
I've got an agent and he gets me the work.
But which is what do you? I mean, do you want to pursue both careers, or would you rather be into one or the other?
I want to pursue both. But I mean, all this last 2 years, it doesn't make me any, less determined. It makes me more determined than ever, to get along with what I want to do. And I'm going to.
So, what were your hopes? Why have you come to do this interview? Were you
Why?
asked
Because I want people to know my situation and him, because he wants to.
Well, I've only come along because I've been asked to come along and to.
Yeah, to bloody.
Well, it's not that. No, it's not to fucking oversee it and to make sure that you say the right things. It's not that at all. It's just, I don't want an interview to go out
Yes,
which
because
is
you don't
blatantly
trust
slagging
me.
off the EMI.
I'm not scared.
I do.
Yeah, I'm not scared to say what I feel.
I know you
if
aren't
that's
scared
what
to
you
say.
think.
I know you aren't scared to say it.
There was no point in you coming because you get it anyway.
Well, what's the point in saying it? Everybody knows that. People know what happens. There's nothing new, It's all been said.
Do you think everybody knows what happens in
No, I
local
don't think
companies?
everybody knows.
Do you think people are interested?
I do think people are interested, and I think that anyone that doesn't know is interested.
Hmm. So will you be making any
all
more?
the parking meters, they're not there on all the parking meters in London as well. Always coming in complaining about getting parking tickets.
Who does?
With the own army.
Universal own the parking.
They don't own them.
Well,
EMI owns Universal.
yeah, EMI owns Universal owns the parking. Big deal.
Therefore EMI owns the parking meters.
But do you believe that your situation with EMI can be resolved, or do you see it as finished totally and it's just a question of how long?
I don't
before
want
you...
it to be resolved. I want out.
You want nothing more to do with
I
it.
want nothing more to do with them.
But do they have any call on you for further products?
Yeah, but I ain't going to get any.
No,
Hopefully it'll be sorted out. I'll have something sorted out with my contract before I've got to do the next thing, so.
There's nothing we can do about it if you're going to take that sort of attitude. If you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it. But it's sort of being a thing and butting and umming and ahhing for the last 2 weeks about, oh yeah, well I think that I want to take advantage of the facilities. Well, it's all very well wanting to take advantage of the facilities. But if you, it's not there purely to be taken advantage of. It has to be done in a way which is agreeable to everyone. And that's what I hope that we would. I don't want this sort of stuff to go out. I don't think it's good for what we had agreed last week to do.
You don't think it's good for you?
No, I don't think it's good for what we had agreed. What we'd agreed was that we're going to change it. We don't need this sort of thing going out in the press to change it. This isn't going to do any good in changing it.
Leave us sitting about talking about it in bloody offices and all the rest of it.
Well, okay, I agree with you. What goes on in the offices isn't, doesn't get beyond the office doors. And I think that's good in a way. It's good.
No, you think it's good.
Well, it is good. If what...
It's not good for me. It doesn't do me any bloody good, does it?
You want this whole business, in fact, to be public?
Of course I do.
Why?
Why? Because I think it's important, and because I think that the people out there who know about me and go out and buy my records, which they do, should know the truth and should know what I'm really like and how I feel about my situation, and especially the people that feel that they've been let down by me. By signing to them. I get letters from people saying you've sold out this, that and the other. If they knew the fucking situation, they wouldn't be so quick to say them things.
So what would be your ideal then? To leave EMI and do what? Join
and
another...
to do an album, making a real statement about what's been going on in the last 2 years and about how I feel about things politically and everything.
What,
because
go
there's a lot
back to
of
an
things.
independent label? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, well, yes, but you've been saying that, and you've been saying, no, I don't want to do that, because you've got, the publicity machine and the recording machine.
I don't need you for the publicity machine.
Yes, but that's not what you were saying last week, is it? And the agreement between us was that, we'd come down here and, I'd sit in the background.
You were saying last week that I won't be able to get ahead without somebody like EMI after all this time, which is bullshit. because I can do it on my own. I don't need you.
Well, why didn't you say these sorts
I
of
did
things
it on my
when
own
we're
to
talking
begin
in the
with.
office? Why don't you say these sorts of things
I
when we're
do,
talking?
but you
just
don't
sit there.
listen. You don't listen unless you're made to listen.
You sit there and you hardly say anything.
Was anybody surprised?
Do you attend these meetings on your own?
Yeah.
So you don't have a manager that goes and discusses it with you?
No, he's been to one of them, but I mean he's all tied up with Culture Club because he manages them, so he's away most of the time these days.
Do you want another tea? Okay.
Not at the moment, no.
Do you want another tea?
Yeah.
This is very weird.
It is very weird.
I mean, do you approve of them sending Pete
No.
to be with you? So why do you accept it?
Why? Because I know what they're like through, like, in the past, what they can be like, what bastards they can be if you don't go along with them. Like I said,
how?
like going in the studio, making a demo, and then not being allowed in the studios for another year. Good, you know, if I do like the slightest thing out, you
There's
know,
no way you
out
can
of
get
phone
yourself
line.
into a studio without them
No,
knowing.
because I ain't got any money. I haven't made a fucking penny out of them.
You can't get a production deal or anything like that.
No.
So, I mean, what did they signed you for no money?
No, they signed me for money, but I've never seen any of it.
Why?
Why?
Mm.
Well, the usual story is that it's spent on recording costs. But my accountant's looking into that. I've just got one. And he said there's something dodgy going on there, which there must be, because I couldn't have gone for 2 years without, you know, making anything out of it myself. Which, you know, I don't care. I wouldn't care about not making anything out of it if I was doing something I believed in. But when you're doing something you don't believe in, and you're in a situation where you're doing something you don't like, and you're not getting any kind of response for it at all, money, people or anything else, then you would, you know, at least if you made something out of it, it would give you some kind of, I don't know, it would just make you feel a bit better. At least you've got something out of it. Whereas, you know, I don't give a shit about money really. I mean, if I was putting across what I wanted to say, that to me is far more important than a pocket full of money any day of the week, because I can get by without it.
So it just seems that the problem is you feel you've been duped into signing the record deal with promises that were not kept.
Yeah, and I feel that, you know, I've been made in the public eye to be something that I'm not, to be like another ordinary little, you know, pop star or whatever, which I'm not. You know, I'm not a pop star.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Look, this isn't. I mean, what have you been living on? What have you been living on for the last couple of years?
What have I been living on?
I mean, that's, you know, I mean, the money has been there. You haven't been duped into signing a contract.
Thank you,
Promises.
Susie.
Yes. The promises that haven't been kept. All the promises that are in there, if you want to call them promises, have been kept. You haven't been.
You know, we don't supply all this gear after. I have to go out and buy it.
With your own money?
Yeah.
So what, they told you what they wanted you to wear and then
Yeah.
told you to go and buy it?
Yeah.
So why did you do it?
Why did I do it? Because it doesn't say anything in the contract that they provided.
But I mean, if
So I have to.
it says in the contract that you have to go and buy what they tell you to buy.
It doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that, but like, it sort of says that I will, you know, I will sort of do what they say. I will follow whatever image that they think is right for me. They will only put out records that they think.
But most record
Suitable.
companies have a clause where they have the right to approve masters before releasing them.
That's right,
That's
and that's all. That's
quite
what
standard,
it says.
isn't it?
That's what it says. You know, and it says that, you know, okay, any recordings that are made will go through us before we put them out. Obviously, I mean that's and all this stuff.
What kind of material did you were you performing when EMI came along and expressed interest?
Very informal, really.
But I mean, was it
Very,
anything like the single you just had out?
No, total opposite. I mean, what I was doing before had a real strength and a real energy, and it wasn't sort of, you know, thrashy punk.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It
punk.
wasn't thrashy punk. It was not punk. It was much deeper than that. There was more to it than that. It didn't sound, you know, it wasn't like, I don't know, what you know, what you call a punk band. I mean, it's just like a mild heavy metal band, and my music wasn't like that. If you listen to a single I did with a band called Cracks, called Girl on the Run, which I did when I was 15. I mean, that was the sort of stuff that I was doing then, and the stuff that I want to be doing in the future will be an advancement of that, of what I was doing then, an advancement of that, and not an so-called advancement, what they call an advancement of what I was doing.
Listen, I mean, you know, this is okay. I mean, you're right. Obviously, you have the right to say anything. I mean, I'm not interested in coming down and being sort of basically embarrassed in front of the press, and you know, I mean, we've agreed. So I thought that, you know, we weren't going to get into this sort of stuff. If you want to carry on slagging off the EMI, I mean, how many people do that every week? I mean, it's easy. It's too easy. It's too easy to do that, to come down here, and I'm not interested in.
It's too bloody easy not to.
All right, it's too easy not to, but I mean, okay, people come along and they accept the terms of the contract and they go along with those terms.
I've been listening to this kind of talk for 2 years, you know, longer than that.
Do you see this interview in any way helping you achieve your escape from EMI?
No, it's not going to.
But how do you see it?
I just see it as a way for me to put across how I feel about how I've been treated in the last 2 years, and to let people know that what I've been doing over the last 2 years wasn't because I wanted to do it, it was because I was forced into a situation whereby I had to do it. And I don't intend to carry on doing it. Of course I did.
You didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, and what would have happened if I hadn't?
You wouldn't have got paid.
I didn't get paid anyway.
Yes, you did.
I didn't get paid.
All right. I mean, but you didn't have to do. You didn't have to do anything. Okay. We went into the studios. We produced the tapes.
They keep saying, we'll get you a bank account. I haven't got a bank account. I had a bank account before I come to you. I only had about 50 quid in it, and I was £44 overdrawn. And they said, oh, don't worry about that, we'll pay it. They obviously never, because they closed my bank account. And they haven't let me have one since. I haven't had any money to put in anyway.
All right, then. I mean, all right, okay. All this is relevant, and this is all what we've been talking about. But I mean, we also, you know, I'm prepared to make an effort to.
Go on, then. You make
with you, all right. Then with you, not arguing with you all the time, but with you to try and change it. Well, I don't think this is a good way of trying to make it work. And if you don't want to, make it work,
you think your way's better.
If you don't want to make
it
work,
we'll do it your way.
don't drag me along to interviews.
Me drag you along.
And embarrass me in front of people.
Drag you along. I've no skin.
Well, all right. I mean, it's no skin off my nose. It doesn't embarrass me because, you know, okay, I've got my job and I'm doing my job, and that's all I'm doing. That's why I'm here. And if that's how you want it to stay, then that's how it'll stay. But I mean, I've said to you with Dave the other day that I'm prepared to make an effort, you know, to get it away from all that stuff. Okay, that does happen. It does happen to people that they come along and so-called get taken advantage of. All right, that's happened. So it's happened to you. But I mean, we're prepared to make an effort for that not to happen, to give you more freedom within that, if you want to do it. I mean, and that's the agreement that we had before we came here today. If you don't want to do it, which is what I gather from what you've been saying today, then we won't do it. But I mean, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in saying I'm going to do it and then come along and basically you're slagging me off. All right, it's not actually me that you're slagging off. It's the company that I happen to work for. But you know, it seems to be a bit beside the point. I mean, you're not going to be able to get much out of it, are you?
I mean, what do you want to happen? What do you want to happen now? I mean, if EMI say to you, okay, we've thought about the things that you've expressed dissatisfaction with, and we're going to change and move more towards the things you want, would you then be happy to stay with EMI?
No.
You feel the relationship's totally finished?
That's exactly what we've said. That's what we've said. I'm sorry about this. This is what we said. You know, it's exactly what we said to her. And she's agreed to, agreed with that. And this is exactly what's happening. I mean, yeah, sure, help yourself, yeah. She came, when she joined us, she was basically had quite a healthy sort of following in London, but nothing elsewhere. I mean, okay, and I agree with her that the image that we've promoted of, trying to get through, trying to get beyond all that, hasn't worked. I mean, record sales haven't been very good.
How many singles has she had out? Or do you know?
Yeah, she's put out 3 with us, and then there was, there's one due out in a couple of weeks, which is what the current disagreements have been about. She doesn't want it to go out. I don't think it will go out.
How long has the contract got to run?
Well, there is. If she wants to do it, there is a way. We're quite prepared to terminate it if that's what she wants to do. That's what we've said. There are no legal problems on that level, and we aren't the sort of ogre that she makes us out to be. I can see. I personally can see what she's talking about. It hasn't worked. Okay, she came along basically as a punk. And her image is now, run-of-the-mill pop, which hasn't worked for her, which is fair enough. And I said that Dave and I are prepared to do it in the way that she wants to do it, which is good. And I'm glad that I was glad that had been resolved, but from today's going on, it doesn't seem that it has been.
Peter's just been saying that he thought that before this meeting that you and EMI had resolved your differences.
No.
You don't believe that you have?
No. It's only resolved in their eyes. That's because they're not prepared to listen to anyone else's view.
Well, we have. I don't know whether I'm taking up too much time on this because it's got nothing to do with me really. But we had resolved it because we did take notice of what you were saying, and I've just been saying that I agree with you that the image which has been promoted with your agreement isn't working. We're not selling any records. We're not selling enough records to make an impact.
So how's it taken you over 2 years to realise?
Well, I do realise
it's been obvious all along that it hasn't been right.
All right, then I admit that we didn't realise it to begin with. You are at times a difficult person to get on with, to be honest. But now, okay, we have taken notice of what you're saying, and we are going to try and do something about it. But we're not interested in coming down and speaking to the press when that has been resolved, and for the whole thing to be rehashed again. It seems to be a bit of a sort of ham job to me.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't.
What do you want to talk about? Come on, let's talk about what you want to talk about. What have you got to say? It's so bloody important.
I haven't got anything to say. I'm just coming down here and trying to put forward.
What have I got to say? I've got fuck all left to say because of you.
If you've got fuck all left to say, why do you want to carry on doing records?
Well, I've got fuck all left to say that I can't keep on pretending But,
I know you.
but,
I know you.
You know,
I know.
I'm the sort of person that you try and portray me as. I'm sick of it.
Well, that's all right. So we'll do something about it, you know, and let's
Yeah,
let's
like
do
start
something
talking
about
about
it now.
how I really feel and how I really am.
Yes, but let's talk about it from your point of view rather than your point of view in relation to a record company.
Well, that's what it's to do with. That's where it all stems from.
But are you saying that, so if EMI say to you by the end of this week, okay, we'll knock it all on the head, off you go, no more ties between us, that's what you want?
Well, we've said that.
Said what?
No, as far as we're concerned, it's no skin off our nose if you go off and do your own thing.
Yeah, but I
elsewhere.
can't do that because you won't release me from the contract.
Well, we will. I mean, there's no, you know, I mean, we're prepared to do that if that's what you want to do. But I mean, you must admit that it has been sort of umming and ahhing over the last couple of weeks from that point of view.
Yeah, because
I mean,
I've been
okay.
saying I want out, and you've been saying if you want to stop, doing things now, yeah, you can, but we're not going to release you from the contract, which means I can't go off and do anything with anyone else because then you're going to get your fucking eyes and see what you can get out of it.
You think you won't be released completely?
No. Of course I won't. If they think I'm going to go off and do something else, then they're going to want a part of it, aren't they? So it's up to me to find a complete way out, whereby they can't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's being looked at the moment, isn't it, the legal problem? Well, I think this is all a bit beside the point.
Yeah, you would.
Well, it's
And I feel like a complete bloody idiot. You know, I didn't come here to be insulted, basically.
I mean, do you want the story to be about this conversation? Is that what you want from it?
No, I just
Well,
want
I
people
don't.
to.
No, but honey, you.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
because
if
that
I more or
will
less go
show-
away and write a piece that describes this meeting and the things we've talked about.
Then it might give people outside a little bit more bloody insight to what it's really like.
Yeah, but how many fucking times has been said before? You know, okay,
Not
so
enough time.
Well, it has.
No,
But
it
every
hasn't.
week there's people sort of whinging about sort of record companies. Okay, record companies exist. They use a business, they use an industry which is basically corrupt. I admit that it is corrupt. What business isn't corrupt? You know, and you get people sort of
There's
signing
corrupt
on
and
to get
corrupt.
the money, you know, to get the image, which is what people sign on for, to be honest. And you know, and then when it doesn't work for them, they start whinging about it. You know, and you read that sort of.
But it hasn't. It's not like that. Because it would have worked had you listened to me and signed me on the basis that you were supposed to be signing me. Had I had the freedom to do what I was into.
Yeah, but why don't you want? All right, then you don't want to be with us. Why don't you want to be with us? Is it because we haven't done our job properly, or is it because you don't like? I mean, what's all this stuff about involvements, etc.? When have you ever been sort of interested in what else we do apart from sort of spending money on you, basically?
Spending money on me? What money do you spend on me other than recording costs?
We put you in the studio. You know, we've done a lot of
That's
promotion on you. There's a lot of money which is spent on
It's
working for
not
you.
in my pocket though. It's not looking after me. You know, I don't want to be, you know, helping provide a sort of shit you deal with.
Look, I
Like-
quite like
like-
to wind this up. Is that still on?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not my place to do it, but I mean,
Well, no, I just
well,
feel
then I'll go or whatever, and you can.
We're talking in circles, really.
Yeah. So you continue, you know, talking if you want to, and sort of slag me off. But I'm not prepared to sit here and okay, I am a representative from the company that you are talking about. if that's what you want to do, do it. But I mean, I'm not interested in sitting here.
Well, go away then.
All right, look. I'm sorry that.
Do you want your tape recorder?
Yeah. So I'll see you later.